Okay, welcome to the Netivot Shalom Shir. I just want to tell you that, first of all, we had a wonderful Chag, and I hope everybody here had a wonderful Chag. And you'll take with you the or the light, the protection that we received over Sukkot from Hashem, coming with us every single day. And I wanted to actually give a shir last Tuesday, which wasn't Yantiv here anymore, it was Isra Chag. But the reason I didn't is because the Torah commands us, Lifnei Ivar lo sitei michshol. Don't put a stumbling block before the blind. And I know this shir goes out and is seen by people in a Chutz La'aretz. And I didn't want to put anybody in a situation through my actions that anybody should violate Yantiv by looking at a shir on Yantiv. So that's the reason we didn't, in case you wonder why we didn't have a shir last Tuesday night, that's the reason. Now, I don't know if you remember, 2 years ago, about this same time, we did the first part of the Torah we're going to read tonight, and that's the Inyan HaTeva L'Dorot, what the Teva, Noach's Teva, had to do with generations. And we did that 2 years ago, so I'm not going to repeat that because I know you all remember that. And if you don't remember it, you can check back on YouTube or Facebook and look at the shir again. It's always tempted to just, hey, here's the same shir. But no, I'm going to go to the next part, the second part, which is where we start today. And we know that this Parsha Noach, talks about the mabul, the flood that destroyed the entire world because of the fact that the world had become totally corrupt and civilization could no longer sustain itself. Noach and his family were saved by building a teva, an ark, and going into the ark. And as we know, we said many times, when the Torah tells us historical events, these are not just bits of history that we should remember, but they all have to have a meaning for today. So the meaning for this incident of the Teva is a very significant meaning. As we're going to point out from the Netivot Shalom, the Teva that we have available to us today to keep from being destroyed by the forces around us is the Teva of Shabbos. Shabbos is our Teva. Shabbos is our ability to become totally calm and at peace with the world. So let's see what the Netivot Shalom says. Starting with Beit, it says, we have to explain the essence of the power of Shabbos, that gives a Jew the power to be saved from all kinds of difficulties, despite the evil and the destructiveness of man's actions. Yesh Lomer, he said, the mabul, bilbul. The word mabul, which we translate as flood, comes from the Hebrew word balbul, which means to mix up, to confuse. To confuse. So what does he say? He says, "These balbul called Seder Habriya." The entire order of creation was confused. And not only here, but the entire universe was confused. The stars, the zodiac bodies, and everything else. Onesh hazeh hayamida keneged mida. The punishment for this was mida keneged mida, a like punishment for what you're doing. Kipagam dor mabul hayubabul hadas. The big pagam, the defect of the generation of the flood, was a confusion of your mind. Because if your mind is confused, that is the root of all bad things that you're going to do. As Kamur Chazal, as our sages have taught us in Gemara Sota, Ein Adam over Avera El Imke Nichnas Bo Ruach Shtus. A person doesn't do an Avera, doesn't do something that is contrary to Hashem's Ratzon, unless he's a little crazy, unless a spirit of craziness goes through him, which makes sense. You know, God has given us this beautiful world and has given us commandments by which to live, given us an instruction manual. It makes sense that if you're working on a piece of sophisticated machinery that's dangerous and you don't follow the manual, you're going to get hurt. So that's exactly what happened. So it's this ruach shtus, a foolish thought that caused you to sin. You do the shorish pagam elu shalishchata geshurim lemoach hadas. So we know that the root of these kinds of bad things that are destructive are in fact tied to the brain, to the mind and the knowledge. They're tied together. Batikul lebalbul hadas, and the correction, the way to remedy this confusion of the mind, hu'ayda yishuv hadas, is through yishuv hadas. What is yishuv hadas? Yishuv hadas is tranquility, equanimity, being comfortable, being laid back, enjoying what's around you, not being bothered by the stresses, being stress-free. Sounds like an amazingly difficult thing, but it's not on Shabbos. Yishuv hadas. Okay, Shabbos Kodesh, Holy Shabbos, Hutiko lepagame dor mabul. Shabbos is the remedy for the dor hamabul, the generation of the flood. Colossian Midrash, as the Midrash says, ala pasuk, vayechulu hashmayim v'aretz. We just read it last week, and God completed the heavens and the earth. Kol zman shoya olam tohu v'vohu. All the time that the world was tohu v'vohu, which preceded creation. Tohu v'vohu was the existence of nothingness. All the time that it was nothingness, lo nirat malechet shemayim v'aretz. You couldn't see the work of heavens and earth. Given shenekar tohu v'vohu behold, when tohu v'vohu, when the when this chaos would be another word of interpreting tohu v'vohu, total chaos, when it was removed from the world, nira malechet shemayim v'aretz, then you were able to see the work of heaven and earth. You're able to see God's creations. You have to first get rid of that chaos, to have yishuv hadas. As it said, God completed the heavens and the earth and all of its hosts. Perish hadivorim shekozman shetov avohu ba'olam. All the things that are normally in chaos. If a person is in chaos, below Yishuv Hadas, he's confused without any tranquility of his mind, any equanimity. Ein nirin masei shemayim v'oretz. He doesn't see the works of heaven and earth. Ein mesugal. He's not able, lirot et habriya, to see the creation. Lirot, and to see mitocha, from within, at borei habriya, the creation that God created, this existence, this world, the koach hapoel v'nifal, and the power that God, as the doer, is giving to us as the receiver. Rak kasher nekar tohu v'vohu bin ha'olam. Only when tohu v'vohu is removed from this world, v'dato sheYehudi mityaveshet alav, and the mind of a Jew is tranquil. Oz nirin masish maimars. Then you can see what God has created, the heavens and the earth. Shiroa es hashemayim es horetz v'chol. You see everything that God has created. We told him, and through them, roa es borei kol ha'olam. And you see the Creator. You see the Creator by virtue of seeing the creations that God has made. If a Jew has tranquility, calmness of mind, with his eyes, then he can see the Creator of all the worlds. And he can see that it wasn't necessary to fall prey to these sins that he did. Because he then will recognize that the root of all the sins and all the destructive actions are bilbul hadas, confusion of his mind. Asher biyosem ubova below yishuv hadas. If he's confused and doesn't have yishuv hadas, nofel oz pergamim hagaroim bioter, and bad things consistently happen to him. All the sins that a Jew does only occurs when he is in the midst of this darkness of his soul, and he's walking in darkness. The Yehudi, once Hashem helps a Jew, and lights for him the light, the heavenly light, he himself then can see umakir and recognize kama v'chorim v'shvalim heim achatoim she'oso. He could see how disgusting the things that he was doing against God's will were, in fact, the tikun v'gomim elu aydei yishuv hadas. You got to get out of the darkness. The tikun for this, the remedy for this, is to have yishuv hadas. V'zeh koho shel Shabbos, and this is the power of Shabbos. Shal yada nitzal Yehudi mikol hapagoyim v'ashchasa. Through the power of Shabbos, a Jew is rescued from all of the defects and all of the destructive forces in the world. Shezoche b'Shabbos kodesh liyishuv hadas. A Jew merits on Shabbos, the holy Shabbos, to have yishuv hadas, v'nekar mimenu tohu v'vohu, and to have tohu v'vohu, to have the chaos removed from him. Umeir alav oro yisborach, and to have the light of God shine upon him. So therefore, Shabbos is in fact the tikkun, the remedy for all of the defects that were present at the mabul at the time of the flood, that came because of this bilbul hadas, because people didn't have any clarity in their mind and only chaos. And with this we can understand Gam Koach HaTorah, the power of Torah. Lios Bechinos Tevas Noach. The Torah itself is like a teva of Noach, like the Ark of Noach. Ki b'Torah yeshnu hakoach shel yishuv hadas. The Torah gives you the power of yishuv hadas. Studying Torah gives you tranquility, gives you a calmness. Chomer Chazal, as Chazal teach us, Tanai hisna HaKadosh Baruch Hu Ma'aseh Bereshis. God made a Tanai, made a condition when he created the world. And he said, "Im makablin Yisrael es haTorah muta." If Bnei Yisrael, children of Israel, receive the Torah, good, things will be good. Im lav, if not, chas v'shalom, achzir es olam v'tohu, I will return the world to its previous state of chaos. Olam haprati, and is written in terms of the specific world, Kamoke, Olam haprati, in our personal world, we have in our personal world the power to uproot the chaos within us. The Torah gives us the power of Yishuv Hadas, Shu Hepach Bilbo Hadas. That's the opposite of confusion of the mind. Valkein HaTorah hi tikul lepagami dor hamabul, haboy machmas Bilbo Hadas. Therefore, the Torah is a complete remedy for the confusion that existed at the time of the mabul. This was the power of Noach. Gomer Chazal, as sages tell us, in a Midrash, Noach lamad Torah. Noach was studying Torah. I might ask, how was he studying Torah? Torah is not given. Well, we know that the Avos studied Torah. The Avos maybe knew what the Torah was going to be, or maybe it meant studying the Shiva mitzvahs, 7 mitzvahs b'nei Noach, or maybe it meant studying how to be a good human being. But all these things together compromised Torah, and Noach was spending his time studying Torah. The Midrash Shochatov, in the Midrash Shochatov, it says, happy is the person who doesn't walk under the advice of the evil ones. V'daber b'Noach. This is speaking of Noach. Ish tzaddik shelo halach b'atzas shalosh shadoros. He was a tzaddik, a righteous person who didn't walk under the influence of the 3 generations that really typify Bilbo Hadas, confusion of the mind. What are these 3 generations? Dor Enosh, the generation of Enosh, where Avodah Zorah was rampant, idol worship was rampant. But Dor HaMabul, the generation of the flood. Dor HaFlaga, the generation of the Tower of Babel, where everybody thought they could be as good as God, go up to the heavens so nobody can fight them, nobody can be better than them. Noach wasn't taken in by these concepts. The Asid Rabbi Yehuda Omer B'Atzas Rishayim Zed Dor Enosh. Rabbi Yehuda says that the counsel of the evil is the generation of Enosh. But Derech HaToim, and the way of sins is Dor HaMabul, the generation of the flood. Moshe of Leitzim, and a generation of scorners, of people who scorned God, who scorned the basic premises of the Torah, scorners, clowns. This was the Dor HaPlaga. Shoyu Kulam Leitzanim. They were all Leitzanim. They were all scorners. Because they wanted the Torah of God, but they really weren't doing anything for it. They thought they could just get anything by virtue of their own actions, not having to pay any attention to God. Total bilbul hadas. The power of Torah that Noach had, where he studied Torah day and night. He was saved from these 7 destructive generations. The power of the Torah is the aspect of the Teva, the Ark of Noach, which watches over and protects against any difficult things. The Shoresh, Bahusim Shoshtei Yanim Elu, and the root of the essence of these 2 things, Shabbos Kodesh VaTorah Kodesh, both the root of the essence of Shabbos and the Torah, Shem Bechinas Tevas Noach. Both Shabbos and Torah are in the aspect of the Ark of Noach. Hamagidim Mikol Pagame Dor HaMabul, that protect us against all the bad things that happened during the generation of the flood. Hamakor Lezeh Mohammed Chazal, and the source of this, as the sages tell us in Gemara Chagiga, is Or Shabor HaKadosh Baruch Hu B'Yom Rishon, the light that God created on the first day of creation. Adam Roabo Misofa Olam Ad Sofo. A person could see from one end of the earth to the other, one end of the world to the other. Ra Kadosh Baruch Hu and Hashem saw Sheinu Kedai L'Rishayim Amod V'Gidzo. Hashem realized that this kind of a light was not fitting for the evil people. For evil people who didn't keep God's will, they shouldn't have access to this light. And therefore, God hid the light. And you have to pay attention as you're looking at the psukim of last week's Parsha Bereshit, that light was existent. God created light on the first day, but created the sun on another day. I forget if it's the 3rd or 4th day. So the light that we get from the sun is not the light that was created. And that's the light that was created was the organuz that was hidden away. Organuz has orgashmi. This is not a material light. Or it's a godly light. At the time that a person sees the light of God, he could see from one end of the world to another. Now, obviously, when it's talking about seeing from one end of the world to the other, it's not talking about a physical seeing. It's talking about a spiritual seeing. It's being able to see what this life is really about. Visam Zohar Kodesh, it says in the Holy Zohar, Shor Hazed Gonzo Kodesh Baruch Hu B'Shabbos Kodesh, that God hid this light away on Shabbos, to come out on Shabbos. This light will come and shine. This, when the Zohar talks about the light that's going to shine on Shabbos, that's the organuz that is revealed on Shabbos. With the Midrash Tanchuma, it says, Amr Chazal, Ganzul Amalei Torah. This organuz, this light that you could see from one end of the world to the other, was hidden away for people who toil, work hard in studying Torah. She'ilu ha'malei Torah, those that work in Torah, shemizvazim ala Torah, ulevalim atzmam aleha, those who embarrass themselves, make themselves not look so great because of what they're trying to do in studying Torah. They do things that people would look askance at. They don't eat, they don't sleep because of their work of the Torah. I mean, not literally, but very little sleep, very little eating, very little enjoyment of the pleasures of this world. For these people, God hid the light of the first day. And it's therefore accessible when you study Torah. And this is said that people that walks in darkness really can see a great light. In other words, the darkness that it's talking about is the darkness that you have when you compare the materiality of this world with the great light that God has given to us. Those that walk in the dark, b'amal haTorah, in the study of Torah, they are worthy of having the revelation to them of this hidden light. Kasha Yehudi Zocher, if a Jew merits, Umeir ben Ishmasu Organus Orkusispora, if he merits and he's able to shine in have his soul shine, have his soul shine with the light of the Organus, Kashi, the light of God. Nimasim Mimela Be'enov Kol Hanyanim Ashfelim Amuchorim. Once he has that light, you can see that light of God, then everything else that he thought was so worthy in this world, all the material things, they become disgusting to him. And they're things that can cause him troubles. And with that recognition and the organus, he's able to be saved from any of these difficulties. Miskayambo, Bisili Nahora, as it says in the Akdamos that we read just before we start reading the Torah on Shavuos, it says, this great light will shine and I will see the shameful things that I've done. In other words, this light is sort of a light to introspect into ourselves, where we can then do a cheshbon nefesh, to figure out what we have done right or wrong. These two things are the purpose of creation. A Shabbos Kodesh, the Holy Shabbos, is the purpose of the creation of the world. And the Torah, the sages tell us, Bereshis. The Torah begins with Bereshis. Bereshis, what is why Bereshis? Yisrael Shadikro Reshis, because of Bnei Yisrael, who are called Reshis, my firstborn. Reshis Bechor, my firstborn. That's how Hashem refers to Bnei Yisrael. Torah Shadikro Reshis. Torah is also referred to as Reshis. Shekal habriyahi ba'avor haTorah. All creation was for the purpose of Torah. Ba'habir b'zeh, to explain this, api masha horularu chazal, that which our sages explained to us, that they taught us, the tachlis habriya laheitiv leborov, that the whole purpose of creation was to do good for God's creations. L'chura, even though this world that we're in is a world of difficulty and of problems. Ela kavanas hatov hu hatov hamiti. When it says this world is created for good to his creations, it talks about the emes, the true good. Shehudi lo yochel lahasig bolam hazeh. A Jew gets to feel in this world as hatanuk shel oz tanei tisaneg al Hashem. Gets to feel in this world the joy of then you shall be joyous with God. Moshe Kosev Mesilas Yesharim, as the Mesilas Yesharim says, Shekal ha'idanim sheba'olam, all the pleasures of this world, heim ke'ein ve'efes, they're like zero, nothingness, umas hatanu hazeh, compared to this pleasure. Begins as Shayach b'Shabbos Kodesh, and this aspect of this great pleasure refers to Shabbos. Shaleh Nemar, as it says in the Navi, Az tisaneg al Hashem, thus you shall be joyous with God. Shabbos Kodesh, Shabbos Kodesh, Margish Yehudi, es ha'osher hamiti. On Shabbos, a Jew can feel true wealth. Bitoch shemargish es hakrova l'Hashem Yisborach, because he can feel the closeness between himself, herself, and between God. Asher zahu osher hagadol b'yoder. This is the greatest treasure. Az piv yumale shira kayam. Then his mouth will be full of song, like the song at the sea, like Az Yasher Moshe. B'chal peh lecha yoda. Every mouth will be giving you praise. B'chal lashon lecha tishav. Every tongue will praise you. B'chal ayin lecha tetzap. Every eye will be looking towards you. Ad shekol atzmosai timarno Hashem. Until all of your limbs, your sinews, your muscles, every part of your body will say, Michamocha, how great is God. We talk Godel Ha'or, from the greatness of this light. Batanu shall oz tisaneg al Hashem shemargish b'Shabbos Kodesh, because of the joy that we get with the light of God on Shabbos. Kamo Kosev hu b'Torah, Pokedu b'Torah, and similarly in Torah. Shomer Chazal say in the Pirkei Avos, Kach darko shel Torah. This is the way of Torah. The person wants to learn Torah, what must he do to be successful in learning Torah? Pas b'melech tochel. He should eat bread and salt. Umayim b'meshura, measured amounts of water. Mayim b'meshura tishta. He should drink measured amounts of water. While horas tishan, he should sleep on the ground. B'chayit tsar tiyah. He should have a life of difficulty. With Torah atamal, and he should work only in the Torah. Imata osekain, if you do this, ashrecha v'tov loch, you will be happy and it will be good for you. Ashrecha b'olam hazeh, you will be happy in this world. V'tov loch b'olam haba, it will be good for you in the world to come in Gan Eden. Umakshim hazeh, and they ask about this. Maho ashrecha b'olam hazeh. What does it mean? You'll be happy in this world. What kind of happiness do you get from these things I just mentioned? Eating bread and salt, measured water, and sleeping on the ground, having a life of pain. What kind of happiness is that? The explanation is that those who toil over Torah, that's the true wealth. We think that our wealth is accumulated and is measured by the material things we've accumulated. When we leave this world, we don't take any of those things with us. What we do take with us is the Torah that we've learned, the mitzvahs that we've done. So that's the real treasure. Treasure is something that lasts. The treasure is not something that is here today and gone tomorrow. The light, the hidden light of the Torah is revealed to them. This is the greatest pleasure, greater than any pleasure in this world. That's what it means. Be happy in this world. Even in this world, your merit through your actions of Torah and Shabbos to have true joy. A taste of Olam Haba, of the world to come, a taste of Gan Eden. Shabbos Kodesh v'Torah Heim Tachlis Habriya. Therefore, Torah and Shabbos are the main purpose of creation. Kivan Shal Yedehem Zochi Yehudi Lahargish B'Noam Organus, because through them a Jew can feel the pleasure of this hidden light. Tachlis Habriya Laheti Labora. Understand that the purpose of creation was to do good things for the Creator, for those that were created. V'zeu mashmot hapanimi. This is the inner interpretation, the inner aspect of Tevas Noach, of the Ark of Noach, the Tikkun Shel Yehudi, and the Tikkun, the remedy, the repair that a Jew must do in this world. Kasher ba el hatachlisa, when he comes to his purpose in this world, Ba'es, at that time, Yizke v'yargi, shall be worthy and he'll feel, but Korvo es or haganuz, feel the closeness of this hidden away light, but chinas, in the aspect of Oz tisanak al Hashem. Thus you shall enjoy, and be joyful with God. And I think it's important to recognize that what the Netivot Shalom is saying here is that we need to understand, and he's repeated it several times, that what we think are riches are really not riches. What we think are the greatest comforts of life are not really the greatest comforts of life. They're temporal. And what it's telling us is to achieve Torah, you got to sacrifice yourself for it. Even though the Torah tells us that the Torah is Morasha, B'nai Yisrael, it's an inheritance, B'nai Yisrael. You inherited the ability to study. But you can't get Torah just through osmosis. It doesn't work. You can't lay your head down on a Chumash or a Gemara and all of a sudden you're going to wake up and know what was in there. That doesn't work. You'll probably wake up with a headache or something worse by sleeping on that hard surface with your head. So that's what the message is here. And to recognize that on Shabbos, you have the ability to see this organus. And oftentimes that's easier than in studying Torah, because in studying Torah, we're limited by the hours that we can spend, all the other work that we have to do during the week. On Shabbos, we have no limit. We have a period of 25, 26 hours that is only with Hashem. And that is the time, if you look for it, if you feel it, if you ask Hashem to give you that or to give you that bubble of light, you will feel it, you will see it, and you will be able to see spiritually from one end of the world to another. Adkan. Thank you for listening. Before I turn the recording off, any questions? Comments? Okay, I'm going to turn the recording off.